I'm on live too.
Hey everybody, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I am thrilled today. I am out by the pool, as you guys see. I need some sunlight. I am here with Rika Darnby. She is a author. I love speaking to other authors. You know, after I wrote The Rise of the 1099 Economy, I got to talk to people, and I love talking to people about business and about what they can do to defend themselves and prepare themselves for the upcoming years. Rika Darnby, please tell us what the name of your book is and how your website and how people can contact you.
Hey y'all. So you can get my book. It's called How to Earn and Keep Your Dead Presidents. You can get that at my website. It's www.rikadarnby.com. You can also find it on Amazon as well. Pick that up and get your financial life right, man.
That is the key. So today we're hitting the 5 topics. What we're going to have is, first one, of course, is one of my personal favorites, is starting a side business. Now, I'm going to just give you a few tips on that. There's a lot of things people do every day that they love, sometimes they don't love, or they have done before that they never thought of running a side business with. A lot of times I talk to people who cut grass before, who knock doors, who rake leaves, and they never think of it in the context of, if I put a little bit more effort into this probably could bring me in a couple $100 extra a month. Another reason I talk about side businesses, it's a super popular way to start. You know, the best way to start feeling better about your job is start having control over something you control. But Rika, tell us what you think.
I definitely agree. I know when I was working for the government, I had a pretty good income, but there was still this fear, like, what if this goes away? What if they drop us? Because it was a lot going on. And I wrote that kind of sparked my whole side hustle mentality, just looking at money coming in and not having to do too much extra. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's it changes your way of thinking.
Oh yeah, I mean, even if I remember, this girl, she's Spanish, second generation, of course, and she was teaching other Spanish children, who have Spanish parents and they speak English at school, tutoring, and she was tutoring on the side, and she was like, yeah, I'm just tutoring to help get extra money. And at one point she was getting like $1,000 a month, and everybody was like, why don't you do this more? Why don't you tutor more kids? Why don't you make this your full-time thing? Because you clearly hate being at Macy's. So I think a lot of people overlook side hustles because they're not sexy, or they don't know how to make them a full-fledged thing. Now I was
Yeah,
going
or
to
like you're
bring up,
so
sorry.
drained.
You're so drained, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm saying like some people don't even think about doing something on the side because they're just so drained from their main job. They have to go ahead and tap into that extra inspiration and try to get it done because it can bring you a lot more money.
Oh yeah. So I mean, even this article, I was gonna do a screenshot, but the sun's tripping. There is an article you shared earlier on Facebook. It was talking about 38 ways to get filthy rich under Trump, and I kind of laughed because some of them are things you could do right now. And I mean, they had life coaching, they had job training services, immigration services. Now, the funny part I was laughing about is concealed carry handgun instructor. Now, here's the kicker: the past 8 years, Obama's been the best gun salesman president there's ever lived. I tell you not. 2 days after Trump got in, I went to Academy here in Round Rock, and there was a group of 25 African American women buying handguns because they were going to go all get CHLs. Now, it could be part of being Texas, or it could be part of defending yourself. There's room for that. There's room for people who are feeling scared. There's two
Oh
also on
yeah.
there that were like anti-Trump websites and pro-Trump websites. People have made a ton of money the past 8 years on having these anti-Obama sites, even if they like the guy or not, because that fed into certain people's mindsets. So there's a lot of things you can do on the side that you build a real business. There's an article I always share with everybody that I wrote about how to build a business that makes cash. There's a lot of guys who know a ton about sports, the backstories, and all this stuff. They could just run their own little podcast and probably
Yeah,
get
they
money
really
from
could.
ad sponsors and different things if they just focused on their thing, right? And that's just some
Yeah,
of the
and
things I'm
even
thinking
like
about.
with that, like with the sports thing, people don't even think like with books, like there's a lack of books related to sports. Like when I worked at Books a Million, that section was really, really small. And people just don't You know what I'm saying? Like we tend to think, oh, people don't read books on sports; they just watch them. But that's lucrative. People come in the store and they look for those things. So you just got to think outside the box and take what you know and put it in a marketable format. You know.
Yeah, a lot of these guys. There's a group of black guys. I feel bad. I escaped. Their name escapes me, but there's three black guys, super nice, glasses, kind of nerdy, and they talk about sports on their channel, and they have a following. So those three guys could put a book out, and they may only sell 1,000 copies, but it's more than the average bookseller will sell it with the major labels. So side business is a number one way to succeed under the Trump years. I think if you are just depending on your job to give you freedom, it's going to be a rough 4 years, a rough 8 years for you.
Oh yeah, it definitely will.
So let me see. I was going to see if there's any other cool one on there, but another one on our list was breaking the scarcity mentality. People are hitting you up on Facebook. So
Yeah.
breaking the scarcity mentality. Hey, everybody on the Facebook. Breaking the scarcity mentality. Why is this a big deal? I think a lot of people think, well, Erica, everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Everybody can't do something, and sadly, that's shortcutting yourself. Everyone has skills. Everyone is fit to work. Everyone's fit to eat. Why aren't you fit to build something just on the side for yourself? And that's been one of my big ones.
Oh yeah, it's definitely you limiting yourself because my thing is personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So take your nobody can be you. Just
That's right.
because McDonald's is selling a burger doesn't mean that there couldn't have been a Burger King. They're selling it two different ways. They have two different, so I don't see why it's different for individuals. You just have to take what works for you and what's unique about you. I mean, people out here being assholes. Like they're legitimately they suck and they are making money just because they suck, right? So
Yeah.
make money off your personality is really not that hard.
Yeah, be great. It pays. That's something Grant Cardone always says. I have a few people messaging me on the live chat, so I'm going to hit them up real quick to see. I've got Rock
Okay.
Rogers. Erica, I'd like to know if South Carolina is a good place to do tax liens. Rock Roger, let's save that for the consults because today we're kind of talking about the 5 ways about Trump, but we'll talk about that towards the end of the video on assets. Dexter Williams, I've been learning Mandarin Chinese. How can that help me in real estate? Dexter, right? In Georgia. If you're in Georgia, they have a Chinese bank. And I'm trying to think what part of Atlanta it is, but they have a whole Chinese section. Now, 9 times out of 10, it depends on who you get to work with. Does that allow you to work with new immigrants that come in? Or does that allow you to come to Houston or Dallas and work with those folks? It depends on how you make it do it. Dexter Williams, NASDAQ hit an all-time high. DM Brown asks, can you please list the name of the author's book? Can you say your book again?
Sure. The name of my book is How to Earn and Keep Residence. You can find that on Amazon or you can get it on my website, which is www.rikadarnb.com.
Rika Darnby is her name. I'll make sure I'll probably put these in the links. Another question is, never been into sports teams as a male, makes my life harder in some ways easier. It's kind of funny. Love playing them though. Let's see. Trump can help Black Americans if we start to open our own businesses. That's CSG. So CSG, I think honestly in America, we're such a country of green. Before Trump even got in there, if you're in farming, if you're in a lot of government jobs that they were putting out grants and loans for, you could get a lot of money. It's being a minority, being under 35, being a woman, any of those things. There's a lot of opportunity in America that people are kind of running past us to come get because we're not willing to start business. Another thing I say is the reason African American unemployment is so high is because entrepreneurship is so low. A number I always tell them, Rika B, is 1 in 10 Asians own a business, at least on paper. 1 in 34 whites, 1 in 54 Latinos, and 1 in 105 blacks. Now, what's the difference between the Asian group? Right, and even if you say, Erica, there's a ton of Black women in Atlanta starting businesses. They start healthcare, hair, all kind of different businesses. But it's a catching up process.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
That's true. I definitely, you did say something about, all the government opportunities. I used to work for the government. I definitely encourage Black people to try to get those government contracts, man. They are literally just doing this with the money. Like, may as well be a
Seriously.
damn stripper. Like, that's what they do. Like, it's nothing to get it, but you have to put in and be willing to, play the game and get in there and put it in there. Just try to get that money, please. It made
Dude,
me sick. This all the money that was going out, and I wasn't getting it.
I was telling a guy who left Virginia to came to Texas, and where he was at in Virginia, it was a farm area. I said, dude, you're under 35, you're Black, you're educated, you could have got $1 million in at 1% interest.
Yeah.
In farming.
Yeah,
and you
and
left to come to Texas.
Like,
now I'm glad he's here, but he could have made a pretty good deal of it in Virginia.
But here's the thing, like, and it's not even like crazy stuff. Like, I know Black people, we tend to kind of go towards service businesses, and the thing, they have those. Like, one of the bids that I saw out there was they really needed people to help. I believe it was the FBI train people. So basically you were a tackling dummy. So if you get you a whole bunch of people who are willing to train with the FBI, just help them do their little fighting karate or whatever the hell they do, you could get.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's a prime example. I'm one of the only two hub businesses in Austin registered as painters. So that means it's me and one other brown person or a woman who's a minority as well. Because it's like people don't want to go through the city. They don't want to apply. They don't want to. Phone rings all the time for projects that are outside of my scope. But I love that I'm getting the phone rings, right? So on the second side of that is knowing the business. Like there's a girl, Aisha Denton. She's in Detroit. And I met her through online. She went to an event where they were teaching them how to get these access to these loans that were coming in, all the billions of dollars that were coming to Detroit. And it was all business owners. And she said they were not paying attention. They were loud. They were laughing. They were quitting. I mean, it was crazy. I was like, that's ridiculous. So, it depends on if you're paying attention. But there's a lot of money from the government if you have the steps. See, a lot of times you'll talk to people and they don't go get the contractor's license. They don't get their electrician's license. They become a handyman. So they limit themselves in the service business they are in.
Oh yeah. And they also, another thing that I noticed, is with the admin part of it. Like, they're kind of reluctant to approach that and just get you up on your team who's good at admin. I mean, the process, yes, it is very lengthy and it is kind of convoluted sometimes, but as long as you get the right people on your team to help you write those proposals and do the admin stuff, you're good. Like, and it doesn't even have to be fancy. As long as you know what you're talking about, you got your licenses and you do stuff by the deadlines, you can get the money.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that's the sad part is like when you try to explain that to people, is like if there's a book called E-Myth Revisited, I don't know if you read that one, but it's a lot of people are technicians, like they're a good painter, they're a good mechanic, or they're good, whatever their skill is, but they're not good at the paper side work. They're not good at being the manager. They're not good at that. So hire people who are strong where you're weak, and that's hard for people.
They gotta get to it though.
I'm going to go down here. Dexter says, Jason Black always recommends mastering your craft before doing a side business. So here's my take on that. Jason Black's right if you're in a high-skilled career. Let's be honest. High-skilled career means a career making $50,000 to $100,000. Now, if you're on any job, I recommend you give 100% at your job because you never know what doors that might open for you, right? And that's, I'm a prime example of that. I worked in the apartment industry, got all the way up to assistant manager before I realized this sucks. But give 100% of your job. But if there's a skill that you can do, let's say it's just the weekends, cutting grass on Saturdays, or as this guy has a lemonade, he has a lemonade stand type deal. He does the festivals in the summer. He's a school teacher. So all summer long, he's selling those $5 lemonades. You ever go to those festivals and you see where it's just a lemon, some sugar, and some water? That doesn't interact with him mastering his craft as a teacher. I mean, the business is a business. And so a lot of people are being super loyal to jobs and they don't have any other skill. Now, again, master the craft if it's a high level job. for sure.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Anybody else over there? Sorry. Hi, Urban Thomas. Sorry, I'm looking back at some people's stuff. Okay, so
Thanks.
all right. So number 3, return of credit. So I think people after the 2008 bubble were like, "Oh, I'm going to do cash only. I'm going to just carry cash all the time." But I think they overlooked the importance of credit. A lot of people who, when they want to go to the next level, they want to buy a building, they want to buy real estate, all of a sudden they can't because they haven't paid attention to their credit.
Right,
I want you to
right.
kind of speak on how important you think credit is.
I actually just learned that, you know, your personal credit can affect you getting a business credit. So like I started my business, did all this stuff, and of course I got a credit card under there. So when it's newly established, right, they're going to look at the owner's credit, and that's fine by me because, but also trying to just get business credit outside of just the credit cards and going to like lines of, you know, trade lines and things like that. They'll look at that to help you get the process started up, you know, using the owner's credit. So it's definitely important, and I know it's going to be super important under Trump because, you know, he made his money in real estate, right? So I'm like, I'm trying to get me some apartment buildings. I'm trying to get it.
I mean, listen, there's no better time than now. There's a book tomorrow that's called Now, and it's true because you'll never be this age again. You'll never have this mindset again. You'll never have this clarity. You have to push for now. The reason I was talking leading up to why credit is so important, I think a lot of times people, you know, you have hairdressers, you have people who are service people who they always have cash. They're like, oh, I'll pay cash for everything. And then the day, what part of some of my clients I have, the reason we're working together so long is I have to go back and show a bank and show on record that, hey, they've been getting, you know, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 in cash from clients, you know, because they do hair or they have a hair salon. They've been getting all this money. They just haven't been properly showing that they get this money. And so then the bank's like, oh, okay. They have plenty of funds. Now we can work with them. But documentation is so important, especially when it comes to those things.
It's annoying, but it's definitely helpful to get that part together. And it's please do so. I'm looking to get me some of my damn self.
What area are you in? You're in Georgia or you're in Texas? Where are you at? Can you hear
me? Albany, Georgia.
Albany, Georgia. Okay, yeah. Georgia's full of awesomeness. Juan Pablo is good. He's good in the Atlanta area. Andre Hatchett too. You know, those people are good people to connect with. There's probably going to be a lot of buying opportunities this year with those groups. So I was going to say 4, which leads us into 4, which is investing. I think never before have you ever witnessed how fast, if you don't have investments, life hurts, right? We have all these people who they did a survey. They showed that 47% of middle class people, if they had to come up with $1,000, they'd have to either sell something or borrow it. And then they even went up to people who make 100,000 plus a year, which if you make 130,000 a year, you're only 1 in 8 Americans. If you make 100,000 a year, you're supposedly 1 in 5. But the bulk of people make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. So it just shows, like, if I didn't have stocks, if I didn't have Lending Club notes, if I didn't have bank certificates, if I didn't have these things when I had my appendix, I had a $42,000 appendix surgery. And I was like, holy crap. Luckily for me, they actually waived the cost. Yeah, they waived the cost because I went to a special hospital. I didn't realize it was a very rich hospital, but I kind of crawled in the emergency room. And because they messed up a few things, they basically waived my cost. But
oh, well, damn.
Yeah, I was like, thank you, Jesus, right? So, but laying in the bed for the next month and a half, I literally had money coming in from bank certificates and Lending Club notes. And at the time I was like doing it, people kind of were laughing because I was kind of hustling and we're driving Uber and driving Papa John's. And people were like, man, you're doing all these things. Why? Because investing matters. And I think with this Trump administration, a lot of people who are very poor and have no investments in a country that is pretty much going the direction that you must own something, it's very dangerous. But what are some things you're looking to invest in this year?
like I said, real estate is probably my number one. Constantly investing in the stock market, just trying to do different things, and especially investing in myself. I think that's one of the things that we tend to overlook is investing in ourselves and making sure that we have the skills that we need to do what we need to get done, and making sure that our creativity is at its peak, right? Because creativity, everything that is now was once just an idea. So it really is going to take those ideas to keep us going as a society. And I definitely think it's important to invest in yourself. So it's something you want to learn, real estate investing, flipping, stocks and options, all that kind of stuff. Like, do it, because there's no greater return than investing in yourself, right?
Oh, there isn't. I mean, when I got my real estate license and when I worked in the apartment industry, I'm like, if I hadn't known the backside, it wouldn't have pushed me to go to the other side, right? If I hadn't known how much money you can make, like it really was a process of working in apartments, giving out all these referrals to people and only getting paid $50, and realizing if I did 70 of those closings this year, I'd have made $70,000. That kind of pissed me off. Then learning.
Question. Sorry.
Mhm.
Marlon Wright wanted to know what bank certificates were.
Certificates are, I call them forced savings, but they're almost like bank CDs, but they're shorter terms, less money. Bank certificates. Hey, Marlon Wright, by the way, that guy, follow him on Facebook. His wife is beautiful. And they're shorter terms, right? So let's say you're at a credit union. Some of them let you do $5 certificate, but the average time is like 3 months in the future, right? So you're only gonna get like 1%. It's not a big deal. But for me, I call them for savings because you know what? If I put away $5 a day, that's $150 a month. Well, I know at any given time, in 3 months from now or 6 months from now, I'll have $5 every day coming into my account. $5 to $20. It was just a thing I did for myself because I never want to look at my account and be like, there's no money in it. Like that irks me to no end. So I always put out, and I would do it at one time a month. I'd take a piece of my paycheck and just put $5 every day for 3 months in the future. It's so nice. Mostly they're forced saving. They're not huge. You're not getting huge returns. I did Lending Club when I got a tax refund. I had $1,000 and I put it into 40 notes. But when I put in the 40 notes, I ended up getting 13% back. So 30% interest on average.
Nice.
So there's some things you can do paper wise that are a lot better.
Okay.
Let me see. I've got a few questions over here. Sorry, guys. I am trying to look at them. The sun is crazy. Boring. Urban Thomas said, what about CPNs? Urban Thomas, no. I am not a fan of CPNs. I am not a fan of that business. Work on your personal credit. Clean it up. It'll save yourself the drama. Cosmic Wisdom. Good credit is key. Once you have established it, maintain it. You can get more. True. Chris McDonald. It's crazy. They don't realize that they can get higher quality barbering and hairdresser equipment with additional credit lines. Exactly, Chris McDonald. If they can stop doing things cash and actually prove where things are going, they have a great deal. Now, there was an article about barbershops and hair salons. A lot of black business owners in the 90s were felt like they were getting discriminated against by SBA loans. So they all kind of got together and they passed around the same business plan. So all of a sudden, all these black entrepreneurs were getting loans from SBA government for barbershops. But guess what? They went back and checked on those people 6 months later. All of them were doing their original business plan. They were already owning real estate with other money. They were doing other things. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. If you want to own the barbershop and then hire 10 booths out to guys, great. Now that puts you back in focus of investing, of putting your money somewhere, of going back to the bank and saying, look, I have this business that's legit. I mean, I tell people that all the time. Dexter Williams, for investments. Cosmic Wisdom, true. That Dow broke to 20,000 days. So my thing on the stock market is it's just a vehicle. Just like tax liens, just like any of these things, they're a vehicle. And it's just like one of those things. It's a vehicle. Let's see. Hold on, I'm looking. Chris McDonald, Sally's Beauty Supply, exactly. Cosmic Winning Lending Club is illegal in some states. Actually, it is not. It's only not available in Ohio and I think Kentucky. That's it, just 2. The rest, you're going to be on the portfolio note side. Marshall 989. Thanks for the call. Thank you. So in Georgia, I was going to ask you, since you're in Georgia, man, I don't know, for some reason I love Georgia. Atlanta cracks me up as this growing metropolitan. There's a woman called Paula Pants, and I talk about her all the time on this channel. I know I probably drive everybody crazy, but she literally came to Atlanta with nothing but the shirt on her back. 6 years later, had 11 properties or 9 properties, bringing in about 11 grand a month.
Is she that afford anything, lady?
Yes, that's her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now she was like, well, she was like, I don't really love Atlanta, so I'm gonna just live in Las Vegas and still manage my properties.
Yeah,
I thought that was awesome. All her
properties over there. Yeah,
I think that's cool. So I mean, look, she found a great house for 20 grand. I thought that was awesome. So
I'm like 3.5 hours from Atlanta. I'm like literally in the sticks. Like I'm surprised
that's even better
right now. Honestly,
that's even better if you're in the sticks, because if you just get 2 acres, you can put trailers all on that bad boy, or you can build out what you want.
Right.
You can go get you a construction loan. Okay, sorry, I'm going to check over here again. I am Jones at Just. I caught what you said about $1,000 in lending club. Is that a recommendation for someone just starting out in investing? I'm in Atlanta. It depends on your goals. Dexter, did you answer my software programming question? I'm so sorry, Dexter. I missed it. Cosmic, in Ohio, you can't leverage lending club. I apologize. So sorry. Check if they let you do Prosper. Also check for some other ones. Dexter Williams, that afford anything, lady? Yeah. Chris McDonald. She also has the book up on Amazon, Paula Pants. Yeah. Irvin Thomas, what about tax liens? Can you repeat the steps? Marshall, she on YouTube. Okay. Back to what we were saying. So you're in the sticks of the Georgia. Are you closer to the Florida line kind of thing?
I'm closer to Florida, Alabama.
Right in so the I had a cousin in Douglasville, and we would drive down from Douglasville to Birmingham, which actually went to Hoover, Alabama. And I mean, it was like crazy investments, but it was right after the tornado hit down there, so that might be why.
We just had a tornado, and somebody just mentioned that to me. Right
really?
after. I was like, can I just have a moment to and then we can get to the investment.
Listen, I know this sounds terrible, but there was a flood. I was in North Carolina last year helping my family and kind of get my real estate office. If you guys want to look me up, it's at 930 Canberra Street in Fayetteville, North Carolina. But I'm in Austin right now. Anyway, for the next year. So the flood happened. It was like 14 inches of rain. I mean, streets got washed out. Immediately the next week I was on Craigslist looking for land to buy. I shit you not. Like, and there was plenty of land too for like 10 grand here, 10 grand there. And I was like, lots of deals. I mean, after a problem.
I mean, I'm gonna look for them, but I'll probably wait till we not in our feelings a little bit.
You know, somebody might be feelings right now, so. They be like, have this piece of property. Are you near Macon? I know my map of Georgia is terrible. I'm sorry.
Macon is about an hour and a half, hour 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, Macon, Georgia made a list for investing. So I was like, yeah, just work with the area you have, man. If you can get you a spot of land and line it up with trailers or line it up with some opportunity for people to rent, that's where the money is.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely on it. About to make some moves down here in the damn swamp lands.
All right, so 5 was assets, but we've really been talking about that the whole time. I think the key to thriving in the Trump years is having a plan. Honestly, is having a plan and deciding to work the plan. A lot of people have heard me on this channel constantly talk about, I have friends who, I'm just turning 32. I have friends who have not worked since high school. Their mom, who people made fun of, Korean, military wife, had a little flea market. Several of their moms had flea market shops. Well, little did you know that they had $100,000 American Express cards, and they made those kids authorized users. Never gave them a card, just made them authorized user. When all of them turned 18 and 19, they were getting $20,000, $30,000 credit cards in the mail, and they've never worked a job since. They just figured out ways to either make money via Craigslist, via eBay, via the flea market. And I think there's just something about saying I'm going to do it my way that's just so attractive. And there's a pride when you walk in the bank. I remember going to the bank one time and I had like $1,000. It wasn't a lot. And I was like, yeah, I need to put this in my business account. And the black girl on the other side of the counter was like so happy. And shit was crazy. It was like she was just so happy that it made me happy, right? Because it was a thing. It was just a moment of we were the same age, same thing. And I think in America, this is just the land of opportunity. And I wrote an article about these two brothers, 24 and 25 years old. They had a multi-million-dollar business. Their business was wholesaling Ford parts and Dodge parts. Because remember when that thing happened in Detroit, like maybe 6 years ago now, or 5 years ago?
What you talking about?
Remember in Detroit, they shut down some factories?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Before they got that bailout thing?
Yes.
Before they got the bailout?
Yes.
So they knew a lot of these manufacturers that make parts were going to close. So they literally went and got a warehouse, 19 and 20 years old brothers, and one called all the manufacturers for Dodge and one called all the manufacturers for Ford. And so they got all these parts, and when people needed parts at different car dealerships, at different businesses, at different insurance companies, they were the guys to call. And they're in North Carolina, just two brothers who had a factory. And then, the reason they were in the news, and I wrote an article on them, is they bought an even bigger warehouse. And I was like, it's opportunities like that. That's why credit matters, and that's why having a vision matters. That's why these guys are 24 and 25. Their future is unlimited. They can buy up just land for days. So it's all about the mindset. And I love that you've been posting about Georgia's minimum wage being $5.15. I find that offensive, but I also think that they probably would only offer that to Hispanics and guys with conflict with felonies, which is sad, but I'm just saying it's a thought. I may be wrong.
Yeah, but guess who has felonies, right? Black people for the most part. So we are the ones being affected, right? So we just have to get a mindset and get on this grind and think outside the box with it.
So again, it was Dexter Williams asked, it's time to be creative. Yes. How could being a software guy give us an edge as Black people in real estate? So with coding or anything, if you think about it, there's a guy interviewed, Eric Hamilton. He was on the channel. I don't know if you saw him, but he wanted a way to plug your phone up to your TV. So just without all these extra cords, without all this, Chromecast and all that stuff. And so he made this cord that actually, it's like a stick is in the middle, but it's like a cord that you can plug in one side of your computer. One side to your TV and one side to your phone. And he got a prototype and everything. And he's a software guy. He's an engineer guy. So being in software, it just depends on what your market is and what you're trying to do.
Justin had a question. He wants you to speak on urban real estate under the Trump regime. What do you suppose will happen?
So if you look at most cities right now, you can go on their website, the city website, and look at planning and city development. Now, why are these two really important? Because planning usually says, okay, we want to do an economic development over here. Like, prime example, Atlanta is building that stadium. Now, I bet you money for the past year on their website has had economic development saying that they were going to need parking lots and paving and this side of town was going to get some money, but no one's paying attention. So they didn't, the people haven't taken action. Same thing with Esther L that I interviewed, that we do a show with. She got properties for free in St. Louis. Now, not on the East St. Louis side, but the West St. Louis side, I think, or something like that. She got 3 properties for free. The key is she had to fix them within 18 months, and she had to use some of the local community programs that were teaching children how to fix things. So basically, you had to have a slow construction time because you had to get these guys teaching maybe like 10 to 15 Black young guys how to put on doors, how to fix lights, how to do electrical stuff. So the key is in urban cities is don't get pushed out. Take a look at Tyler Perry. The first thing Tyler Perry did is went and bought that Army station that closed based out there in Georgia. But before he did that, he started buying up houses on the other side of town. So, pay attention to what people are doing. If people are always whining about gentrification and I go, hey, why don't you buy some of those houses in East Dallas that are $30,000? And people go, I don't want that. That's crappy over there. Well, now look up 5 years later, Deep Ellum is full of white people and they have clubs that are historically 1950s, 1960s, Black owned clubs, nothing but white people sitting inside of them. I mean, I went to Deep Ellum and I was so excited. I was like, I gotta see this. And it was just all these white kids and hipsters and college students. And I was like, they ran all the black people out. Now, the guy I'm playing on stage was black, and a lot of people sitting there eating catfish and enjoying the food were black. But I can imagine they don't live there no more. They just drove over there to go to the place, right? So,
Right.
what are the plan for the urban areas? You better get your foot in the door, honestly. Another thing I talk
Yeah.
about that people think is silly are corner stores. You know, Hispanic people love the bodega thing. Africans are big on the corner stores in parts of Georgia and Florida, and people kind of laugh at the corner store because you don't want to sit somewhere all day and wait on customers and have to pay somebody to work with you. But those are really great things because one, you're making the money in the community. Two, you have your eye on if it changes, the community changes. Three, take maybe 20 grand, if that, to fill up the whole store with items. A lot of things are 30-day net 30s, net 60s, Coca-Cola, Snapples, the machines, coffee. I mean, you could go on and on and on about these corner stores. Everybody knows I love them. I talk about them too much on the channel, but it's just something I know is a moneymaker and a reason why the Arabs, the Indians, and the Africans now, who sometimes have beef with us, come here and open those. Tell me if that answered this question. I don't know if I did. Might have went on a long tangent.
Yeah. You said you have a brilliant mind.
Thanks, dude. You know what it is? I sat and read or I observed people. I'd be like, how does this family, we had military kid. I had neighbors who were all kind of racist. So I start talking to them and I had a lot of Korean friends. And just in that moment of my friend would go, Korean men don't go to college. And I looked at him. I was like, no, college is full of Asian people. He says, no, college is full of Japanese and Chinese people. Vietnamese and Koreans don't go to college. They start businesses. And that thing stuck with me so hard. And I was able to watch their life after high school. Now, these are kids that are not full Korean. These are Korean mom, black dad, Korean mom, white dad, Korean mom, Mexican dad, because the father's in the military. But they were true to that. They were true to that. They didn't go to college. They ended up all starting businesses.
Cool.
Okay, let me see. Sorry,
That's
I'm
what we need.
gonna check on
Hey,
Sassy Moxie 2. What do you
what's
have
going on?
to be in order to get a construction loan? A contractor or developer, can you get one as a startup? Sassy Moxie, you probably need to do a consult call on that. That's a long question, but short answer is yes. You can be the person with just the ideal. As long as you have an architect write you up a plan, like let's say there's 80 acres over there, and you get an architect say, we're going to take this 5 acres and we're going to build out this building on it, and here's the design and the plans. You can go to the bank and get all the money you need. So, I mean, as a woman, I don't paint, but I own the painting company. So, D-Bloke, hey, D-Bloke, will I ever get rich? I don't know, D-Bloke, do you want to? Dexter Williams, 4 investments, 5 assets. Having a play. No, D-Bloke's cool people. D-Bloke's from Florida. Totally, like, D-Bloke's good stuff. I'm not messing with him. He's good people. Cosmic Wisdom, Dexter, why reinvent the wheel? How about leveraging existing real estate sites such as Zillow.com or leverage APIs from Google Maps existing technology? All right, Cosmic Wisdom, dropping knowledge. Cosmic Wisdom, the issue is building something that not offered in the market. Okay. Sassy Moxie, in order to leverage real estate sites, you usually have to be a real estate agent. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. There are 50 crowdfunding real estate sites right now that I keep telling you guys about, where basically you can invest from anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to $5,000 and have a portion of they're financing an apartment. They're financing a commercial building. So, was there any more questions on your end? I'm just trying to catch up on the questions on over here.
Let's see. Right, Andre.
What's
in
Andre
my former occupation, did you notice any discrimination in regards to loan grant disbursement? What I noticed was, I will say that people who knew people, opportunities, right? Not everybody is going to tell somebody who doesn't look like them about an opportunity just out of the blue. And a lot of the things I saw, because I worked in the intelligence community, which meant for most of those things, you had to have a security clearance, right? So a lot of times a lot of people who can pass those, and if they have passed them, they were actually working for the government already. So I did not say that, Andre. I did not say that. No, that's not what I meant. I meant be on the lookout, try to network, talk to the Black people who work there, do your research. Look at them putting words in my mouth, man. You funny. Funny. But yeah, I think that was my only question.
Network with the Black people that were there. Hey, listen, that's true. That's true. Father Time, great channel, Erica. I've subscribed immediately. Can you or will you cover paying closing close to zero in taxes, making over 100K a year in the Trump years? So again, if you are a business owner, tell them she has a book out this year. She has expenses for marketing. She has expenses for running her business. Whatever money she makes, she can counterbalance off that. There's a great book I always tell y'all to grab. It's 475 tax deductions and incentives for small business owners. There are people, let's say you got it. Yeah. Let's say you're making a ton and your wife isn't, or your wife has a babysitting business in the house, or just different things. A side business will get you a lot of those money back. A thing I was telling somebody earlier, kind of laughing, was a lot of people make fun of those MLM guys because they spend so much money getting their startup. But a lot of times they get so much money back in taxes the next year, it kind of pays itself out a little bit. So D-Bloke and Lending Club, 401k, Fidelity Investment, and still like a slow process. It takes some time, D-Bloke. I will tell you the hardest, fastest way is real estate. So, I mean, if you want to get rolling, having 10 real estate, I'll say this again, having 10 properties that pay every tenant's paying you $900, and you got $9,000 coming in the first of the month from the 1st to the 5th, will make a heck of a difference more than having a bunch of stocks at some point in time, depending on how much money you have invested in the stocks. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Anthony wants to know what were some of the examples of the real estate group investing sites, or what's the name of the video? Maybe he can kind of go to your channel and look at it.
Actually, if you Google search me, I have like an article I wrote and I did a video on the 50 crowdfunding real estate sites. A lot of them are like Fundrise. I know you probably see them market all the time on Facebook. But they're like Fundrise. You know, basically, you don't have to be a accredited investor at some levels. Some levels, they make them packages where you can invest at $1,000 or $5,000.
Okay. You heard that, Anthony? She wrote a blog and she made a video.
So you can go back and Google it. It should be in there.
Said Google it.
Somebody had a question over here. It's like, Pow Pow, literally that's what it says. As a fitness Pilates instructor from Los Angeles, would it be smart to invest in buying a private studio? Only if you have at least 3 or 4 ways of making money off that studio. Can other instructors rent your space? Can you, I mean, there's just several ways you can make money off of it. Any move can be a great move as long as it's, you know, you have some control over it.
Truth.
What are the prices on an acre out there where you're at in Georgia right now?
Oh, on an acre? I'm actually not sure. The land itself. I just been looking at the houses and right now, you know, they kind of low. 25,
what are they,
20K.
25? Oh yeah.
25, 20K, like nothing major.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's a girl in Tampa, Florida. The nurse buys houses. She's on her 5th house this year. But the house is in Tampa, 50 to 70,000. She do a little bit of cleanup, renting them bad boys out for 900 to 1,000. I mean, it just depends. Like that 2,500. What are the rentals around there? Like 700, 650.
They're a little lower, so because it's a lot of lower income people and they're on Grapha, so it's like 600. Nothing.
That's not terrible.
Crazy. But we do have a lot of duplexes down here, so that's what I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, if you pay $25,000 for a house, let's say you get it on a mortgage, your mortgage might be $100. That. I mean, like. We got one person that watches the channel. She's from Houston. She bought a $55,000 condo. Her mortgage is $347.
Okay.
So at 25, you might be paying $150, maybe. And then
Okay.
they're renting out for 600. You still make your money.
Oh yeah. Trying to get it on this business loan though. Use somebody else's
I
money.
understand that. Other people's money for sure. Dexter Williams said Walt Disney had vision. He did. He did. Cosmic wisdom. That's what I did, Eric. I bought my condo before gentrification, got property tax abatement for 15 years. That's right. Listen, use the city for what it's worth. The city will let you not pay work it. Like here in Austin, if your house is before 1940s, man, you're not paying property taxes. Or if you do, they're very, very, very small. Chris McDonald, Ethnic Economies by Ivan Light. Interesting. Cosmic Wisdom. If you are in any city, look at the development plans, usually on the local government site. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. I mean, it'll really tell you what's going to happen 10 years before it happens. Harlem World King. My girl E is a real deal. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Justin said, what are some things to look for in mortgage loans?
So you have to be really careful on the interest rates. If you have a 630 credit score, I would push it to 680. I would try to go 680 before I tried to apply. Why? Because I know people right now who are getting zero money down.
My bad.
2% interest, and barely bought any money to closing costs. And then I know somebody on the other side who had a 550 credit score. I don't even know, and I think their interest rate was like 11%. And everybody was like, "Don't do it, man! Don't do it. 11% is murder." But they were hard headed. They did it anyway, and they had to refinance 3 months later. But you got to realize, like,
it's crazy.
11%. Like, if you got $100,000, 10%. I mean, like you're paying probably $300,000 for a house that was $100,000 if you pay it out over 30 years. So, interest rates are very important. Always shop more than one lender, but do it in a small time frame so you can keep your scores high.
Oh yeah, if you don't, have that amount for the down payment, Justin.
Oh yeah, they got programs. They got 1% down programs, 3.5% down. Austin right now, oh my goodness, Austin and Georgetown and Hutto. Like I did a video a couple days ago of those houses that were $200,000, and everybody was seeing the video like, what? Builder was putting like 2% down, so you were basically coming into closing with maybe $800, $1,000, $2,000 max. They were putting almost 10 grand into it. So, and what's crazy is that neighborhood, the way they've built them now, this is how people need to learn. The way they're building them now is like the insular. They'll build 5 different builders, building a kind of a circle. They'll plan it out. In the middle of the circle is the elementary school. Why is that important? Because only their children will go to the elementary school. And the way that I show you that video, this side is 200,000, 250,000, 300,000, 400,000, $500,000. So you're going, all their property taxes are going to this one school, and the school, elementary school, was like 2 stories. It had a huge softball, huge football field, huge playground. I mean, the library had a whole section where you could come into the library in the off hours. Like once the school closed, you could go to the library. I mean, the huge library. So what's going to happen to the little Hispanic kids around the corner in the apartments or in the other area? You're not going to that school. They've built enough houses. They're going to say, this school's full. You're not going to it. So if nothing else but for the equity, you're in America. America is a country of, if you have assets, you rule the roost. 53% of African Americans are unbanked or underbanked. I think 38% of Hispanics are underbanked or don't have a bank. So what does that mean? That means those people are going to cash checking places, or they have a checking account that charges them a lot of interest. Stuff like that.
Basically, they're going the cash check, the check cashing place, the devil.
The devil, or they're going, like the other day I had $1,000 check written from a person, one of my clients, from Chase Bank. I say, I want to cash this check here because it's a Chase account. I don't want to go put it in my other account because I don't have time to drive. The lady goes, yeah, that'll be $8. Wait a minute, you're going to charge me for cashing a check that comes from your bank $8? Why? Well, because that's the rules. You don't have an account here. So I literally kind of made a little bit of a stink. I ain't gonna lie. I know everybody's like, it's $8, Erica. It's the principle of the thing. It's the freaking principle.
I know.
And the lady was like, we're going to waive it this one time, Miss Williams. I'm really sorry. Here you go. But I was like, it's your bank. It's your bank's check. It's not like I'm bringing it from some other bank over here and bringing it here. This is your bank's check. My client is a Chase person. Why are you charging me? So, again, underbanked, and they're making money off of you.
Basically.
Somebody put in here, Ellis James. I'm wanting to start a residential senior assistance living facility. What is the best way to finance? I do own my home. Well, the best way to finance is look in your city for grants, because you can't get grants for that. But look in your city if they're looking for more living assistance. Because I'm here in Austin. Georgetown has 4 Alzheimer places, and Medicaid, Medicare, they all go there. Like all the checks go there because they're the only people that are doing those kind of things. Were there any more questions on your side?
Just asking if you were in Austin. I told him you were. Hey, T.
Hey,
I think that's it on my side.
Marquez put, hey, Erica, can you lose your business loan if you use the funds for something other than that particular business? It's true. You can. But most people aren't going reckless. Like, I think a farmer one time went on a vacation, and they were like, where do you get those funds from? Did they commingle? Stuff like that. But it's rare. I mean, unless you're just being blatantly ridiculous, or buying a Bentley, or buying a Ford F-150 and your business doesn't need any kind of trucks. Stuff like that. Chris McDonald, this is true. He said the USA is a real-life monopoly game, yet we have dumb people out here protesting.
Erica Shanta Williams.
Yeah, everybody, hey, if you need to reach me, classyscl.com is my blog. Sign up there. I put out good articles, stuff we can't always put on Facebook. But, that's how that goes. Did you have anything else? I don't want to hold up your whole day, but we'll talk a little bit more offline.
No, I'm good. I liked it. It was good. I learned a lot, and it was fun. We had a lot of interaction on my side and your end, so.
Yeah, you guys, if you have questions, definitely hit us up. Tell them your website again, because I'm going to put it in the links. I'll let you message me, though.
Yeah, make sure y'all go get my book. It's How to Earn and Keep Your Dead Presidents. You can get that on Amazon, or you can get it from my website, which is rekadarnb.com. You spell that REKADARNB.com.
Hey, everybody, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. I'm going to read these last 2. Cosmic Wisdom. I send your YouTube links to family and friends so they don't think I'm the only crazy one. That's right. Send them out. Thank you. Pow Pow, should I send you a private message for a consulting quote? No, definitely. Just go to the link. I'll put it in the message. What's your website? I'm going to put it down here too, in the message board.
Reka, REKADANB.com. Thoughts on renting? You mean like for you personally, Justin, or anybody else?
Oh, it says, Brian Knight, do you have accountability groups? I do have accountability groups. I try to do one-on-one consulting so that we're all kind of in the same space as far as having our income ready, having our credit clean, having business credit ready. Like right now we're talking on the phone. What if I want to come to Albany in a month or two? If she knows the area and I have the cash, then that's how you work together. Up and up, right?
Yep.
So, so we'll put our links up there below.
Be a house when I come down there for FinCon. Damn, I like that.
Dude, FinCon in Dallas this year. I'm about to be ridiculous. You don't even know. Like they keep putting in California, and I'm like, I hate to tell you, California is dead. Not dead as in, not booming. It's still booming. It's just not the icon it used to be. Texas, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee. Whew. I mean,
Jesus.
Oh man, I went to Nashville and I went on this one side of town. It was all the black people. They're like, "Girl, we've been living here." I was like, "I didn't know." It's like they're having the same issue. Like half their town used to be black, and they're kind of pushed up to the edges as well. And so it's like this happens all over America. Don't be a Nashville. Yeah. Don't be a East Austin, where the city was once 30% black. Now, here's a tip on Austin. I have to tell you this. Austin used to be, they had 19 free towns. What does that mean? When slaves got freed from Louisiana and all Mississippi, all those places, they came into Texas. They didn't want to stay in East Texas because the Klan was out there. So they came to Austin. You had 19 free towns. There's a reason that some of the signs in Austin are the way they are, like the Jollyville spot. People are like, why is there still a Jollyville, Texas inside Austin? It was the original free town. And it's a part of the history. Austin decided we're going to keep that name for as long as we need to. It'll be inside Austin. We've absorbed it. But it will still have that street. If you live in a certain area off Palm Springs, and the funny thing is a lot of black people still do, that area is called Jollyville, Texas. So, I mean, but to go from a town that was 30% black to now 6%, if that's ridiculous. Like, even some of the businesses that were barbershops and the food restaurants have moved to Pflugerville. So it's like, if I want to go taste, like, there's this one guy called Raleigh Rooster. If anybody wants to come to Austin, South by Southwest, hit me up in advance. But also, if you want to come to Dallas, March 11th to 12th, I'll be going to an apartment investing seminar. It's a group how to basically put a syndication together. I have some clients coming from Chicago and other places. Hit me up. But basically, this Raleigh Rooster, they fry chicken and waffles, they do fish, and they now use Uber Eats. So all the East Austin people that used to use them can still have them. So I just think pretty cool thing. I'm sorry. I promise we're not going to drag on all day, but it says, Marcos Barton, thanks for answering the question. D-Bloke, does bank take debt income ratio into buying a rental property? They do, but they also take in the money you'll make off the rental property. So D-Bloke, if your rental property is going to make you $1,000 a month, let's just say top number, they're going to take 75% of that. So they're going to say, D-Bloke, we're going to add $750 every month to your income. So now your income to debt ratio looks better because you have this rental property in it.
I would say get a rental property first, though, Justin. If you're going to buy something, get a rental property first before you buy a house for you.
Tell Justin this. You know, people move every year. On the average, a person moves every year for 8 years when they're in their young 20s and 30s. I have friends who were bartenders and just getting out of the military, they bought a house with their VA. A year later, they moved closer into Austin. A year later after that, they moved closer in Austin, each time buying a property. By the time he moved the 5th time in 5 years, he had 4 rental properties and a new house. You can do that too if you buy right. You just have to have the right type of mortgage. So, yep. But all right. So look, everybody, this is Erica, Classy Client Blog. Rika Darn B has joined me today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your questions. We had like 32 people watching right now on YouTube and messaging. Hey, do me a favor. Hit me up on the blog. Definitely after you watch this, because those comments don't show up below on YouTube, hit the like button and share it if you guys like. Rika Darn B, thank you for your time.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
Hold on one.